I'm with you on that. What you're saying is what I'm trying to tell everybody, which is the shadows of our lives are leading to the most unhappiness. The second you go naked, things you take back. I call it the 8 Mile rule. It's the last scene of 8 Mile. They go into the battle rap, and Rabbit, Eminem, loses the flip, which means he has to go first, and he takes all the leverage out of Clarence by exposing all of his flaws. It's why I don't talk about a lot of shit, Tom. My number one compliment on earth is every time somebody leaves a comment saying, "Gary V, I'm done with you," you say the same shit. When I tell you that I smile from cheek to cheek, because I don't want to talk about things I don't know. Of course my life will evolve and I'll talk about other things and tragedies and successes. Things will happen, but I stay in my lane because then I'm not in a bad place. I'm not vulnerable. I'm not posturing. Like, talk about what you know and own your shit. Like, I've talked a lot more lately about my ability to be unbelievably candorous in interviews and in content and on one-on-ones, but then with my own employees, I dance too much and I struggle because I don't want to hurt their feelings. I love them too much, and it's led to a lot of entitlement and a lot of people not liking me as much because I've stunned them with the firing after 2 weeks earlier telling them everything was great, but then something happened 4 days later and it was the final tipping point of the last 2 years that things stunk. But I didn't have the candor. And my brother AJ, 11 years younger than me, came into the business 10 years ago. I mean, I had nothing in wine marketing. I was terrible at it. And then AJ came and I saw the value of it. I'm like, ooh, I need to get better at this. I remember telling him right away, he's 22. I was like, you're way better at this, But then I wanted to be great at it because I have all this great, kind of human ability, but without the candor part, it allowed me to be full of shit with my closest people. Outside here, I dominate. It's why I'm enjoyed. There's the niceness and the candor, and it's worked for the people that it works. Inside at Vayner, I've gone from 0 to probably 7, which has made it a totally different organization, and I'm proud of that. But I'll be very frank, until it gets to 10, it's still going to have vulnerabilities. It's going to cost me money. I'm running a business. I'm sitting on people for a year longer than they should be there. It's going to cost me my reputation, because there's going to be somebody walking around saying, fuck that guy. Everything's good, and then he fucking fired me and my family was hurt. Or, it's something I'm working on. And me saying that here gives me back the control of that, instead of it becoming something in the shadows. And we all have to go there everywhere. It's like expose your scar. That you do that. And I think those are the best relationships in the world.
Yeah, man. That whole notion of you're not fooling anybody, so all of my anxiety, 100%, all of my anxiety, so getting into business, as you know, I had no entrepreneurial instincts whatsoever. I'm constantly in over my head. Like I was constantly trying to posture as if I knew what I was doing, instead of just owning, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing, but I'm going to learn faster than anybody else. I wanted to play the part. I used to dress like really nice, really professional. And the more successful I got, the more layers I began to strip back to how I really felt, who I really am. My anxiety levels started coming down, so I wasn't faking anybody out. I finally believed that I could learn. And once I believed I could learn, I didn't feel the need to pretend I knew something I didn't. And so that notion of you're in a house of cards, you're trying to posture, you're trying to pretend that you are something that you're not because you think other people think it's cool. But literally, if people understand that is the thing you should be afraid of. It does not feel good. Your subconscious mind.
It never works. It is a non-sustainable model. You will break. And sometimes, and I've seen it at the highest levels, you break in a way that will break all of our hearts. We're talking suicide. You've become so fearful of it, you literally decide to check out. Check out. It is such a big deal. We have to, and I think this goes to the other thing I'm obsessed with right now, Tom, which is, can we redefine success as being happy, not making money? Like, I'm so passionate about this right now. Like, we all, especially the ones who have financial success, have to debate a level of responsibility to take away what is the thing that many put us on a pedestal, take it from underneath us for the better good of everyone, because we have to. If I believe this, I genuinely believe this, if we redefine, literally every human believed in 100 years, that success, winning, was I wake up and I'm happy today, that we would have a huge game changer. And unfortunately, success is around stature, power, money, and we have to take the air out of it. We have to make humanity and kindness to each other and genuinely liking it the new norm. I think there's a chance we can do that, and I feel that sense of responsibility in me, and I'm talking about it a lot.
Dude, that's super interesting, and that notion of responsibility. So anybody who follows me know I prioritize sleep. I get my fucking sleep. But over the last probably 2 weeks, I'm in this weird cycle where probably 3 out of the 7 nights of the week, I'm waking up after 3 hours of sleep with this overwhelming sense of like, people don't understand. Legitimately, people do not yet understand that we are at the beginning of the pain. We are not in the middle. We're not at the end, like simply unlocking the economy and going back. There is going to be a very long time of struggle. And there are people, for real, that they're really going to struggle, man. And one of my former employees at Quest committed suicide, like, I don't know, a month before all this popped off. And I was at his funeral and just like, fuck.
Really? Just the other day?
Dude. Beyond gnarly, yeah, super, super recent, thank you. And I'm there, his mom comes up and she's hugging me and she's just like, you don't know what you meant to him, his sister, his brothers, like everybody. And I'm like, but I didn't fucking stop him from committing suicide. So I'm in this zone of like, man, how the fuck do you really, like, not cool content, but for real, how do you?
Tom, you will go down in my life forever as somebody who said something during a piece of content that really resonated. I know you know where I'm going. When you said to me, my ability to not judge myself is my great superpower, you nailed it. And it's cool. I'm like happy that you have that. For my own, because I like that kind of shit, because I like when I do it. Anyway, nonetheless, it's so funny that you just said that. I was like, just kind of thinking off to the side as you were telling the story. I would not struggle with that because I don't judge myself. When somebody's in such a dark place, no matter how close you are to them, this is my biggest point. Why value other people's opinions when nobody really knows each other?
Here's my thing on that. So I don't beat myself up over it. I look at it like I would look at a data point, not to dehumanize it, because there was the connection and all that. That's real. But now setting aside the what animates me in that moment is I have a data point. I tried a tactic. It didn't work. It didn't give me the result that I wanted, which was for this guy and the other people that I care about to really thrive. And so I just want to know what will it take to actually deliver something that works? And because I'm so obsessed with that, like I have a goal. What actually works to get me there? And being able to face that, hey, this didn't work. So a story I've told a lot is I big brothered for this kid. It was supposed to be 8 weeks. I ended up big brothering for him for 8.5 years. And in all of it, I kept telling myself, oh, I showed him that somebody loved him. And that, I felt so good about that. And that is worthy of feeling good about. But at the same time, it's now become a thing I have consciously chosen to hold on to, that I didn't save him from his zip code. And so for me to both say, I showed him that somebody loved him, and that's very important. But then to also say, but the problem hasn't been solved. Like the inner city is essentially grinding people up.
You know what's funny? As you were talking, I was thinking, this goes into this weird place I sit with where the balance between confidence and humility. Like, I genuinely, I think I might be the best person in the world. Like, that's literally in me. Comma, this is where it gets really interesting. Because off what you just said, comma, I genuinely know I mean nothing. That tomorrow, God forbid, I get hit by make up something, a tree falls on my head, something less likely to happen. A tree falls on my head and I pass, that I would have an incredible, 12, 18 hours on social. People would share their favorite clips, tell their stories. A lot of the stuff that I'm proud of, like the things I do that nobody knows about would come out. He did this, my house burned down, he paid for it. Like, real stuff that I'm super proud of. And then in 3 weeks, that'd be it. And so when I hear what you're talking about, I have this funny relationship of genuinely believing I might be the greatest person ever, and in the next 40 years, the impact I'm going to have is going to make my birthday a national holiday, and knowing I mean dick shit, zero, nobody gives a fuck. And in that, it helps me with what you were just talking about, which is like, look, if you fucking leave it on the field for real, like fucking really leave it on the field, like if you just really try, this is far greater than any one man, one woman, a group of people. It's just so fucking macro but just fucking leave it on the field and fucking just leave it on the field.
Yeah, I'm obsessed with that notion. So I'm not a big sports guy, but the way you see some of the greatest athletes play until they're spent. There's nothing left. And I have this huge, which I think you saw when you were at my house, I have this big painting of Michael Jordan from the flu game. And that is so inspiring to me. Like, that's where I want to be. Like, you pick your mission, whatever it is. Like, it doesn't have to be the same for everybody, but you pick that thing, and then you just go all in and really play. And that's why I keep waking up now so fucking early, is I have this sense of, like, there's more to be done, that I haven't figured this out yet, and just really, I've created so much passion over this idea in my head that it gets easy to play out like that, to play so hard, to be so engaged.
It's super interesting. Martine Lazani said, sad and true. You've spoken about it a few times, like Prince and other artists that passed away. I actually don't think it's sad. I actually think it's a beautiful thing. It's what's so amazing about the world. I think we all need more humility. Meaning, like, look, the reality is, like, I want to do such greatness that I always want to be remembered, because I love life so much, and I think subconsciously I realize that a legacy is like how you stay alive. It's probably why I'm so grateful that I was born in this era where I can put so much film on tape. I know, Tom, do you understand that in 103 years somebody's going to be watching this exact moment? Hi, Rebitron. I think that's weird. Hi, Rebitron. I hope you're enjoying the video. Like, that's amazing. And that used to be left for, like, Calvin Coolidge and fucking Edison. And, it's so cool that we have that now. We all get to have a true legacy. And I think what we do with that really matters. And are you really going to post pictures of your Lamborghini or of, like, your vacation with, like, models? Like, I'm like, there's so much good we can leave on the table. And by the way, I think sometimes people think I demonize fun for alpha guys. Like, I don't. Like, go do your thing. I'm an alpha guy. Like, go to Vegas and have the best time. Like, if you're single and you're like, have a mazel tov. Like, you want to go and show that you go to a spa if you're a lady, like, show the glam life and do you, but don't do it if you're doing it to make yourself feel better, because actually deep down you're sad and you need this picture to make yourself feel better. Don't do that. And also know that we're building a whole culture that sees that and then starts feeling bad about themselves. It is why I'm very thoughtful about what I post. I do a lot of cool things. I travel fancy. I live fancy. You know, when I get the chance, you know this as a great speaker. Like, you travel around. Like, things are nice. If like, it's nice. But like, to put it out there to make somebody feel bad, I don't need that.
Yeah,
I need this. I need this combo. This is the use of my 30 minutes, because I'm reading Mike Phillips and Crystal Mays, and like, can one thing, somebody said, leave it on the field. I'm taking that with me today. What I admire about what you're doing, what I'm doing, what I'm hoping other people will, my hope is that we get so popular that people say, oh, that's what I need to do, not, lifestyles of the rich and famous. This is where I'm going. How do we make nice fucking cool as fuck?
Dude, I'm with you. And I think this gets into going back to the physics of being human. What I mean by that is there are certain things that you'll be neurochemically rewarded for that will feel good. And when you get people that are living that I've never heard it referred to, the alpha guy, party, whatever mode, it's fun for sure. In brief quantities. Beyond that, I will say it begins to violate the laws of, the physics of being human. There's no sense of fulfillment. Fulfillment comes from doing hard shit to improve yourself, to be able to serve other people as well as yourself.
It's a fucking disguise. It's makeup. It's fucking makeup.
To me, it's a bowl of ice cream. It's like, it is fun. Like, I have gone clubbing in Vegas, and it is fun. But let me tell you, if that were the central thesis of my life, like, there is a vapid sort of emptiness, not like in a judgmental way. The physics of being a human. What are going to be the things that really make you proud? Like, think about, if you did something rad, you were in Vegas, all the strippers and alcohol in the world, and then there was one moment where somebody came up to your friend and was fucking with them, and you stepped in and were able to, like, get them out of that situation, or there was a fucking car accident and you ran in and you saved somebody from that. You're not going to think about the strippers. You're going to think about the moment where you helped somebody and did something rad, especially if it falls into your skill set.
And I think that story is amazing. And let me add one thing. It's literally happened when you thought, like, put myself in that place. Or you helped a lady get on the escalator. You don't have to, like, you're such a superhero dude, and I like sports. Like, Like, you know, I'm not sure I got the balls to, like, save, like, somebody out of a fucking fiery car. You definitely do. But what I definitely have the balls for is when I see an older man drop his handkerchief, I'm not scared of the germs. I'm picking it up and I'm giving, like literally in that stripper movie, hangover movie game, the opening the door for a lady when you go in for your fucking steak dinner, like, chivalry and, like, I think the mundane daily nice has a shot. It's because I live it. I live going through airports and smiling at people. I had a person run back the other day to me, like, I thought it was like a selfie or something. It wasn't that. I smiled at them because I smile because I like people. And he ran back and he's like, "You made my day."
Whoa.
And I was like, this is the best. Like, this is what we have to get to. Like smiling. Like somebody, like, I'm so programmed by the way I was parented of, like, good things. Like somebody drops their bag, I want to pick it up. Like, it's just nice. It doesn't have to be the burning car. Like, just help somebody put their bag. I watch it. You know, when you sit first class, you get on first. I start working, but sometimes I'll watch. And I'll watch people, like, not have, like, I'm watching, like, fucking offensive linemen stand in front of an elderly lady trying to put her bag up. And, like, 6 out of 10 times people help. People are nice. But, like, those 4, my, like, brain, like, I try to, like, climb over the person, because I was, like, window, because my back's fucked up, you know, so I was, like, window, like, I try to climb over the person, like, I don't understand. And, like, and so what goes through my mind is, if that dude, instead of, like, thinking buying Beats by Dre, or wearing his Supreme hoodie, or having a barbed wire tattoo was cool, instead if he actually thought grabbing this lady's bag and putting it up for her was cool, that's where the whole thing flips. And I think communication has always changed the world. I am absolutely obsessed with using my platform to the minimal scale it is. As big as it is, it's tiny in the scheme of what I'm talking about, which is 8 billion people adopting this truth. But I do think I can inspire a lot of people to use it because they see my success, and when they start to unwind it, it looks a lot different than the last 5 generation of alpha male success. And I think in that, Tom, and I see you being a beacon for this and others, I see something's happening.
Yeah, it is. It's a time where whatever ideas people have, they can at least spread through the culture very quickly. And I think I've said, like, I witnessed this with Quest, obviously. When we started, it wasn't like we were trying to be slick marketers. I just actually, my family struggled with obesity, and so I naturally was marketing to sort of that type of person, somebody that needs community, needs to be lifted up, celebrated. And as we were getting more and more successful, and people would ask, like, what was the secret? I said, hey, look, you're living in a time where doing the right thing and being a good person is the most powerful marketing vehicle ever. And you now have the ability to actually show people what you're about, what you stand for, and it feels good, man. Like, it just feels good to take care of somebody, to, you know, like you said, big or little, but to really think about, and this is my obsession. So even going beyond the lifting a bag up for somebody, it's what skill set have you earned, worked your ass off to get good at, that now will benefit somebody else, right? So there's a great example. Toyota incentivized their employees to go in and donate some of their time. And so people went in, ladled soup at a soup kitchen. They were like, you know, this is rad, and I'm glad, but anybody can do that. What is something that only we can do? And they were like, we're line efficiency experts. So they went in and they helped the soup kitchen increase their efficiency by 300%, and they were able to feed way more people on the same money. And they were like, dude, now we feel good. And
that's why I put out all my best content for free. I know how to communicate as good as anybody on earth. I really genuinely believe that, and I'm trying to literally give out the blueprint for free. It's my biggest impact. You know, it's funny, Kay Terry said something like, it's amazing how many people, they pinned it up here, I've lost it now. It's amazing how many good people I see do nice deeds like that. And I think we as a society, like, if we see somebody ultra attractive, like, I see people go up to that, I see a lot of women go up to very pretty women in public and say, you're just so beautiful, right? I see creepy guys do it too, but, like, you know, like, or, you know, people come up to other people and say they admire, like, a success. I'm wondering, like, when that, I'm just going to go back to the mundane, when somebody opens a door or puts the bag up, if, like, 3 or 4 people actually said to that person, like, hey, that's, you know, that's going to be my takeaway. I'm going to verbalize when I'm impressed with somebody doing a small act of kindness, and like, I think that could become a behavior. You know, like people don't understand that behaviors change. This is real, what I'm about to say. It was only 40 years ago that it was common for men to whistle at pretty girls walking by. Common. Like real. That is incredibly rare now. I believe that in 35 years, people could cheer. Not full out fucking cheer, but I think 3 or 4 people could be like, hey, that was really nice, bro. I think that could become a pattern. And I'm thinking a lot about that.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know, being that you're such a voice, that's exactly how it changes, right? So you're saying this now, somebody in the feed, guaranteed, is now going to take this away. The next time that I go to help somebody lift the bag, or I'm the one that can't reach it and somebody else does, I'm going to be thinking of what you said.
Yeah,
do that behavior because it makes sense. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think behavior has ever changed at the pace that it changes now, because we have the ability.
There's so much information.
Correct.
You and I didn't have an audience. Like, this could be watched 1 million times, advertised over a decade. Like, you know, we didn't have that level of audience. We were affected by Walter Cronkite. We were affected by, you know, like magazine, like Time, and, you know, newspapers. Like, there's so many different voices that have platforms, which leads to a lot of weird and negative things. But it actually, and that's what we're focused on.